I love that music.
Got my head jiving to it.
And that's what he's sitting there, sitting out a little pop. What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Opinions from Offside. What's going on with you? All good?
All good. All good. Another day. Another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles talk. What more can you talk about?
Loving all that. I like the way you told me. So for those that are listening on Spotify or Amazon or Apple or whatever and not watching the screen, Kanye's currently wearing an Inter Milan top from when was it? 90s, surely.
No, this year.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, from last season's. This is last season's.
Oh right, I thought that was a throwback.
No,
he's actually got Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, on his football top, right, as a sponsor. But the best thing about this is he told me off camera. He said they actually come as a set, and you get free shirts. Is that right? You get when you buy like the home, away, and third. Yeah. And he says, and they come in a pizza box, which I think is gangster, but also as a fat lad, really disappointing because if I'm taking a pizza box home, as much as I want my football shirt, I'm a little bit gutted. And then Kanye said they should give you a voucher as well, so you can just like ring Domino's or wherever.
Just get a voucher. I'll show you top. What about you? How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. What I need to know is Kanye. Kanye answered this. A question posed by a listener, Sam King. He says, Man City are very successful. They've got some really entertaining players and they're one of the greatest teams in the world. But are they boring to watch? He says that his son is a Man City supporter. He says, and he finds watching the games both a foregone conclusion because a lot of the time you already know they're going to win. And secondly, the style of play is methodical and very a la Pep. So where do you get your teeth into that one as the first subject of this episode?
I'm on the fence with that. I'm on the fence with that. So I'll let you pick. You pick? You could be the home team or the away team. I'll play devil's avocado to your caveat.
Right, I don't mind. I don't mind. I'll give you one example of each, and then we'll see where we go. On the plus side of watching them, where else do you get to watch like an almost Galactico style dream team as some of the players they've got? If that's not entertaining, if watching Haaland popping in a net is not entertaining, if watching De Bruyne spray passes about and through balls is not entertaining, then what do you want? However, I would play devil's avocado to my own point. I don't like, and I commented on the Facebook page, so thank you very much, Sam, for the subject and the comment. I did say to Sam, did he want to come on and discuss it with us? And he said, no, he's happy to let us crack on and do it. But thank you, Sam. I said to Sam, I agreed with him in as far as I'm not a big fan of the possession-based football where you're passing for passing's sake, right? I much prefer the way Liverpool, I don't know under Arne Slot because I've not really seen them up and running yet, but certainly under Klopp, I much preferred that get the ball forward quickly, exploit the space and attack. And I like the Alamo. And I much prefer that than passing. Don't get me wrong, right? When you look back at like 90s, 2000s Barcelona teams, to see the highlights of a goal where they've made 36 passes and put it in the net is a lovely team goal and it's a beautiful thing to watch. However, just knocking the ball around in your own half and not getting anywhere and having 85% possession just for the sake of keeping possession is boring to me. So where are you going with that?
So I agree with what you're saying. However, looking back, was it 2000s? Remember when Arsenal started doing that and everyone was raving like, oh, this is how football should be played on the floor.
I thought they were trying to walk it into the net, so that was still boring to me.
Yeah, boring.
I much preferred the Overmars and Robert Pires era where they just were
big Pat V.
Yeah, big Vieira.
Here's something just off topic for you. Before we go back to that, do you know that Patrick Vieira never won Player of the Month?
Did he not?
Never won a Player of the Month.
I think his trophy cabinet's all right though, don't you?
Same as De Bruyne.
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't swap trophy cabinets with Harry Kane, will they? Oh, do you want to say about that real quick when we're talking about off camera? Because that's funny as. Go on. Oh, go on.
No.
No?
We'll move on. No.
What?
You can share.
What, are we talking about the same thing here?
I don't know. Which one are you on about?
Harry Kane not wanting to lift the trophy.
Yeah.
But you think that's bad?
Yeah,
You think that's dogging him out?
Yeah, because you know why? Because it's one of those where. So basically, those that don't know, Harry Kane won his first trophy for Bayern Munich. I think it was the Audi Cup, and it was at Spurs, right? Kane was captain, but there's a video where he didn't want to pick up the trophy out at Spurs, against Spurs, as captain of Bayern Munich. So he was talking to Joshua Kimmich about trying to get him to do it. Now, off camera, we were talking about maybe it's because he didn't know what to do. Maybe he didn't know what to do.
That's what it was. It was new to him. Spursy. He was worried about dropping it. He probably would have missed it trying to put it back on the side anyway.
I just think, mate, you've left the club. You've chosen to leave the club. As part of the deal for you to leave the club. A lot of teams put in we get a friendly against you or whatnot, whatever. But it's a nothing trophy.
No, I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to blow your mind. Devil's avocado. Right, you know I'm West Ham. You know I'm no Spurs fan. You know I would stick the boot in on Spurs whenever I can. I thought that
they do that themselves.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, the only team that will come fourth in the 2-horse race.
That's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous, isn't it? No. Back to reality. I thought that was very respectful, very kind. It is a nothing trophy, but it is a nothing trophy, but it's very respectful, and it's in the same mould of players that go back and score against their old team and then don't go celebrating with a shirt over their head, jumping up on the awning. It's you're just why?
I think it's massively different. Right. So how I would look at it is is it
the occasion or is it the gesture? I
think the gesture is too. It's when someone does something and you think, what are you doing that for? You're overthinking this. So I look at it. If he left Spurs on good terms, apparently he didn't. He said he wanted to go. He wasn't agging for a move. They got the money. Fine. If you are a Spurs fan, I would assume, and you still think highly of Harry Kane, the fact that he's won it against Spurs and he would be lifting the trophy in front of Spurs as a fan, I would want you to do that because I've seen you pick up your first trophy. Just because we couldn't do it doesn't mean I don't want you to do it. So the occasion to me was once in a lifetime where you'd done it at Spurs. It's a nothing trophy. I could completely understand if it was a Champions League.
What a load of bollocks.
No,
I really say that in response to your. Well, I'll tell you why. Because the first thing I was thinking is there is no way. And I liked him as a guy and I liked him as a player. And by all accounts, lovely man from a lovely family. But there's no way I want to see Declan Rice picking up a trophy for Arsenal at West Ham. West Ham.
But it's different. Right. The reason why I say it's different is imagine.
Right, go on.
Well, imagine he'd stuck with you for 10 years. For the last 4, he's been top goal scorer in the league or thereabouts. He's up best to get you to where he could. And without the support of whether the players or just unlucky, he's not been able to do it. So if you were captain for the day, you've made a deal out of it by not doing your captain's duty. Just fucking pick it up. That's how I would look at it. But if he's looking at it, if I'm a Spurs fan, I would not be thinking that far deep into it. Just pick it up. It's a once in a lifetime chance to do it. Just pick it up. Pick up the trophy. Let's see you pick up the trophy.
Depends on the fan, I think. Some people would maybe not see it as a slap in the face, but I am defending Kane and Spurs, which is wild, right?
Wow, you've changed.
Yeah, I know, man, I know. But I'm going to flip back in a minute. No, don't worry, I'll stick the boot right in. I actually think it's etiquette and he's maybe overthinking it. Perhaps he's just well-raised and a polite bloke and he didn't feel right doing it and then this is where I flip it back, right? What you're saying, I'm all turned around on it now. What you're saying is after 10 years of suffering, right?
Yeah,
playing
basically.
Spurs and losing everything and being Spursy and losing in the final, falling on their face and basically walking around for the rest of his life with that Spurs stink on him, right? You're saying he deserves to have his moment in this, even the sun shines on a dog's ass. You know what I mean?
Well, what if now he never, ever wins another trophy? Anything.
He might not.
So So
How
imagine
many years he got? He's on a decline.
Well,
How many years has he got left?
I reckon he's
Leverkusen are
probably got
getting
2.
stronger. Well, mate,
I reckon he'll have 2 at Bayern. That'll be it. So imagine now he say Bayern and Dortmund do well, Munich don't do well under Company. Crazy how he got that job, but anyway, whatever.
Yeah, that's mental. That's one for another day.
Mental. He did say they come second, don't win the Champions League. Say they come second again, don't win the Champions League. New forward comes in, maybe even a new forward this year, because at the minute they've only got one. And if Kane doesn't hit it, they need a striker. So say he then starts to lose his place, he goes somewhere else. That could literally be his only opportunity to have lifted a trophy, especially as a captain, as a Bayern Munich. If I'm a Bayern Munich fan there, I'm now disrespected. You have the armband representing my club, and your duty is to lift that trophy for the fans, and you chose not to. Regardless of where you played, we paid good money for you. We didn't get you on the cheap. We paid good money for you. You get paid a good wage.
So is it disrespectful then to their fans?
I would be. If I'm a Liverpool fan and we've signed who we recently, well, we've not signed anyone this summer. Jesus Christ. So say when we had say we got Salah, right? We've got Salah, and he scores against Chelsea. Salah's the captain. Or say Van Dijk, right? We've got Van Dijk. Van Dijk's the club captain. We play Southampton in the FA Cup final. Van Dijk scores. Okay, don't want to celebrate. I get that. But as the club captain, if he refused to pick up that trophy, I would be disrespected. You are the club captain.
Right, flip it. Right, Salah looks like he's going to be off next summer, right?
Yeah.
Wildly, Salah goes and signs for Man United. Man United beat you in the FA Cup final, and Salah's there front and centre, jumping up and down, giving it all this with the FA Cup in front of the Liverpool fans. That wouldn't irk you a bit?
Of course it would. It would hurt me that we've lost. It would hurt me that he's gone. But he's gone to Man United. He's gone to the enemy.
Yeah, but right. But
that's football.
But if Salah he scored the goal and refused to celebrate and just head down, right, and then said to someone else, "You pick it up," and then went round to the fans and said, like, I appreciate it. Would that not be the right thing to do? What Kane's done? No, because you don't play for no more. Like you can always be a legend, and to me, it's the non-celebrating of a goal I respect more. Tarnishing, just because it's one of those things. Yeah, but you've won a trophy. Like if you've won the trophies that you win, especially playing in England or any professional sport, they mean something. I mean, I know it's only the Audi Cup, but like if it's a real trophy, I would be not asked that he picked up the trophy or whatever. Because don't forget, at some point he will pick up the trophy. There were pictures of him. He's just won a trophy, and you expect to see that. But for Kane to make this big hoo-ha about it, I just think to me, it's drawn more attention than it should have been. You should have just picked up the trophy and represented the club that are paying you. It is the mighty Audi Cup. You're representing the club you're now playing for. Like it's to me, if you are playing for this, you can have loyalties to your team, right? So I would imagine Declan Rice will still have some loyalty to West Ham. But first and foremost, this is the club he's at now. Like that's how I look at it. Like, of the trophy matter? Is it relevant? Like if that was the Champions League and they'd beat Spurs in the final, like, and then he did it, would you respect the gesture, or would you maintain he should be like jumping up and down? If I was the fan of whoever Harry Kane was playing for at the time, I would be fuming that you are my club captain. You choose not to pick up that trophy because you are representing the club, the fans, the structure, everything that club does for the community. You are representing that, and you've chosen not to pick up the trophy. How are you our leader? How are you our first in charge? Are you the commander on the pitch? Could lead on the pitch though, and not necessarily need to lift up the trophy. Look at when Roy Keane missed the Champions League final through suspension. Yeah, but I'm looking at it different. Like if you are representing my club as the leader on the pitch, you should be putting yourself in those. I mean, look at all the press stuff they do where they go out and meet kids and stuff like that. This is to more people. This is the trophy that we have supported and follow. So say it's a Champions League. The fans have paid their flights, paid their hotels, paid their money for the finals and their food and refreshment. It ain't cheap to support a football club now. And you
are on mad amount of money and you choose not to do it because of your old employer. Grow up.
Yeah, grow up.
That would be like you not singing a specific song in a certain bar because you sang another one. Oh, every time I sing this song, it reminds me of this bar, so I can't sing it in here because it's close to it.
That's different. I've worked at the Soul Suite on and off, like full time, nearly 11 years, but since 2002. If there was a certain way of doing things in the Soul Suite, and then a new bar opened like Detroit's on a night out, and I went over there and adopted that Soul Suite thing, I could see the disrespect in it. I just think he's being polite. But here's the thing, right? Never mind me defending Harry Kane. So he's still not lifted a trophy, right? He's lost the league with Bayern Munich. Yeah? He's lost
first time in 9 years.
He's lost the Champions League with Spurs. He's lost 2 finals of England. Is Harry Kane the problem? Is he cursed? Is he the problem? Is he too Spursy?
You know what?
Has he got that Spurs stink on him?
There was a conversation about that from I think it was Danny Murphy had the conversation on BBC after the final, and he was basically saying the problem that you've got is Kane will score goals, but he won't win you trophies. The way that Kane gets everyone else around him to play, they play for him to score goals, but when it comes to the big games, he doesn't get the goals to get you the trophy. Well, I think that's the difference in players like your Ronaldos and your Suarez's and your Messi's. They turn up on the big days.
Game winners.
They get the goals. Yeah, they need a chance. Listen, and some people, like I still to this day still think as a finisher, Suarez was massively underrated. But you want that half a chance to fall to Suarez in that sort of situation, or you wanted it to a Fernando Torres at Liverpool, not the Chelsea one. That's different, but like it's a different player. But you wanted those big game players to get it, the ones that rise to the occasion. Your Andy Coles, your Dwight Yorks, your Van Nistelrooys.
But does that come back to Andy Cole in particular? An episode we recorded recently about Messi and the players around him. Andy Cole would miss 4 shots out of 5, but he'd still score 2 every game. You know what I mean? Like that was because of the level of service and level of players he had next to him. Is there an argument for that? Because it did not click for England. But I think I'm right in saying that Harry Kane had previously won a Golden Boot. He was the tournament top scorer. So that's turning up, isn't it? How am I defending Harry Kane? But that's
you are so Spursy today.
It's such a weird thing, isn't it? So they start the cosmos has gone. Anyway,
you've got a heat stroke from football.
Yeah, I've caught the sun. I've had too much sun away. Right? But in any case, right? I think it's polite. You think he should have done a professional thing because it wasn't a big deal and it was a pre-season thing. But back to the original question for Sam King.
Yes.
Are Man City
sorry,
boring?
Sam.
We've gone off. Sorry, Sam. We've gone off on a segue, but it's made for a good off-the-cuff conversation. And
I would say.
Let me adapt the question. If Harry Kane played for Man City, would they fail to win anything ever again?
Oh, I bet they're thinking they dodged a bullet with that. Jesus Christ.
See it rubbing their hands together.
Yeah. I would say it depends.
If Kane would have gone to Man City instead, I think Arsenal.
And Haaland went to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Arsenal would have won the league. And Bayern Munich would have won the Champions League.
So they could have been Liverpool, Arsenal. Instead of Man City.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I agree. Man City are boring to watch. They're great when they play the forward passes like the De Bruyne through balls and they penetrate the defence. But like using Liverpool as a frame of reference, why does a move need to take 45 passes when it can take 4? I
would say, I think it all depends. With the Man City thing, I would probably say maybe slightly arrogant to say, I think you would appreciate the way Man City plays depending on your football knowledge. How difficult it is to not only get that unit into play, because defensively, they're solid. They're solid without the ball, but they defend with the ball.
You're saying I don't have any football knowledge because I think they're boring. Well, you know I've got football knowledge. And in another episode, we both reference, I would watch a defensive boxer like Mayweather. I'm happy to watch the grappling on the ground because I've studied jiu-jitsu and aikido and other things, so I understand the positions they're getting into. So now I don't understand Man City because they play passing for passing's sake. And I understand what it's for, but it's not as exciting as a fast counter or a quick break or through balls and overlapping higher inside forwards cutting inside and running off of your dog. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if you let me finish, Princess, right?
Okay, go on.
The way that they play, right?
I'm all upset
as
now.
someone who plays forward, you're going to lose this argument now because you've been Spurser.
Right, yeah, go on.
So,
to be honest,
the reason why I say that is
I tried to have a sip of my water and missed my mouth since that conversation.
It's all right, you get an individual trophy for that one. So with that, I think when you watch the way that City play, we appreciate the fact that the other team has to play a certain way to stop them. So if they're playing, teams play very defensive, like say the Premiership, you'll probably have City will have dominance of the ball, maybe like home or whatever. It's only really got Liverpool. Even this year, Arsenal didn't really try it, but Liverpool had a go. A few other teams have had a go and got a bit of success out of it. But a lot of the teams play defensively. So the difficult part is, and what makes it where I think the football knowledge would come in, is if a team is playing deep and trying to counter, if you watch City play, they restrict the counter attacks and they pass in between the lines and in the space to cover the numbers that are there. When they played Liverpool, I think it's a different game because Liverpool had this, we are going to play this way, bring it on. That's what the Liverpool and City games were usually end-to-end, barnstormers. Watching Liverpool as a fan was brilliant and frustrating at the same time because when you just want them to go, just hold the ball for a minute, but it's not the way we play. It's not why we're entertaining. We attack and we go forward. We leave, Trent leaves the space, or Van Dijk will stay on this side, or Robbo will do this, or someone will do that. Szoboszlai will bomb forward, and it's what makes Liverpool entertaining to watch. But with this Man City thing, I think teams set up a certain way against them, so that is the best way to be secure and be offensively like controlling as they can be in that situation. So we've seen how I defend when we play. When we played that last Monday, the big guy in the blue top, I waited, watched him to touch it, and then as soon as he touched it, even though he's bigger than me, I stepped across, and my body was the wrong side of him.
You boxed him out.
Yeah. But that's the situation I knew I could do from there, and I think that's how City have sort of had to like adjust it. So I completely understand. Yeah, I think it is a bit boring to watch at points where they've got the ball, it goes left back, it goes a little bit forward. There's two lines of four, and then the two strikers are back as well. Right, they go back and start again. But is that City's fault, or is that how teams are set up against them?
So
that's the only way they can stop them.
When you're going against a low block, you need to maintain possession because you've got to move the pieces about and find a space.
Yeah, you have to wait for someone to switch off.
Silly example comparing us to Man City because they're nowhere near as good as us, right? But
no, I am local Fabian Delph. What are you talking about?
Exactly, Fabian Delph. That's a new one. I'm surprised we didn't mention him in the last obscure player game. Fabian Delph. What happened to him? Didn't he go to City or somewhere?
He was at City, then he went to Everton. In fact, you know what? While you go on your point, let me find out where he's playing.
We need to
Last
know.
I heard, he was at Everton.
Right, that's going on the episode. Save it, because that's going on the Danny Drinkwater episode.
Yes.
Whatever happened to episode, because there's so many players that were really good players, and they just like the one wrong transfer and they fade into obscurity. Anyway, go on. You found out where he is?
No, I'm going on. You carry on.
So, look, a lot like us on Monday, for the first half, they sort of had more ball players, and we had a couple of lads that are great lads, but they wanted to go a little bit longer. And then you pointed out to them, like, it's too hot. Like, it was 34 degrees. We had a 2-hour game, not even 90 minutes. That was like a full game plus extra time. And we're running around, and you was like, we've got to make them run and let the ball do the work. And then when you made a few tweaks, and I pushed a little further up front, gave us a bit more space, and we managed to hold the ball a little bit more. Then you were pinging it into me as a wall, and I had the two fast young lads running off me. We was able to move them about. So what you're saying, really, in an amateur sort of way, like the example, that possession of the ball was important because one, you're exerting less energy, and moving the opposition around, and also you're opening up avenues at the right time. But do you not think that sometimes, though, if if Stones plays it to Walker and Walker back to Stones and Stones back to Edison and Edison to Stones, like where's that getting you? Like, I understand.
That's stopping the forward. I would look at that. That's stopping. There's only so many times the forward will.
There's times
stop
when the
passes.
forward's in his own half and they've still passed it 19 times before they've come up out of their own third. Like, it's
apparently that's a pet rule. Apparently, before any attack, he wants 15 passes. Apparently.
Yeah, is that right? Is that
apparently, yeah. I heard someone talking about it. I can't remember if it's 15 or 14, but he's basically said before you can set up attack, you need so many passes to make sure that you're set for the attack.
That's nonsense because I understand the basis, but you're allowed to do it. Yeah, I've looked up. We've made 13 passes, but I can see you're clean through on the shoulder, and I can play that ball and we can score. But I'll better pass back to fucking John Stones so he can pass it back to me, and then the chance has gone.
Listen, if you as a Harry Kane supporter is telling me now that tactically you're more naff than Pep.
No. Well, we're going to get Connor on. We're going to get our mate Connor on soon, who's going to be having a right go at Pep as well. So, look, I will say this, though, mate. I will say this. Look, I prefer the way Liverpool play because I'm a West Ham fan. We spoke in one of the other episodes about the West Ham way, getting the fullbacks high, getting the wingers high, keeping the ball on the ground, you know, knocking it about, playing attacking football, penetrating, going for the win, going for it, right? You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, you're going to lose a few that you're expected to win. You're going to go and like turn over a Liverpool or a Man City or an Arsenal away, and everyone's going to go, how did that happen? Right? I would prefer to watch entertaining football, but the crux of it is, and this ties us all nicely into a nice little bundle with Harry Kane and the trophy cabinet and Liverpool and Man City, is winning more important? Because Liverpool are a great team and have done great, and I much prefer the way they play is more entertaining, right? But I will give you, Liverpool are just engaging, right? And Man City are Khabib. Do you understand the analogy?
Yeah, completely understand that.
For people that don't, do you want to break that down?
Yeah. So basically, Khabib he dominated his fight career, but he was a blanket, basically. He could punch and he could take a hit, but he was a blanket. He would grab people in mixed martial arts, roll them to the ground, dominate on the floor majority of the time. While Justin Gaethje was, very
he maintained possession, controlled, and opened up guards and opened up defenses in a methodical
instead of taking the risk,
control.
Instead of taking the risk of having a slugfest, like very much like a Tony Ferguson would literally go, right, stand here, let's fight, last 10 seconds, let's go. Khabib wouldn't do that. Why am I going to do that when I've dominated 4 out of 5 rounds? I've had you on the floor. I've been in control. So he was very methodical with that. While Justin Gaethje was one of them, actually Tony Ferguson fight, weren't it? And Gaethje had won 3 or 4 rounds. He basically pretty much won the fight. And instead of being clever and taking a step back, he was very much the Liverpool rock and roll. Fuck it, we're attacking. And he stood there and swung out with Tony Ferguson and got knocked out with a second left to go. But Gaethje is so much more entertaining to watch. He would swing for the fences. He would knock people out. He'd get knocked out. He'd get taken down. He'd get back up. It's so much more entertaining to watch. But in 10 years' time, are you going to be talking about just engaging in that one knockout, or are you going to talk about Khabib went 27-0, or Man City won 4 titles in a row? Like so no other team has won that.
So Gaethje's the human highlight reel. He's all or nothing, and that's Liverpool. That's what we prefer to watch as entertainment.
Yeah.
But actually, is he ever going to be a unified champion? You know, the way Khabib was.
An undisputed.
Undisputed, yeah. And whereas it comes down to the answer to the question, Sam, is Man City are not the most entertaining team to watch. Tactically, we can appreciate how they play and the things they do. We can admire Pep and we can admire his players and the tactics, but winning is what matters, Harry Kane. So put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it, mate. Right, before we go, a little bit of housekeeping, ladies and gentlemen. We are now available on all podcast platforms. If you're watching this on YouTube, go over and find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Alexa, Amazon Podcasts, Music, whatever it's called. I'm good at this, aren't I? So you can listen while you're driving or working or walking the dog or cleaning or stroking the missus or anything you need to be thinking about me and Kanye instead of what you're doing. Go over there and get on that, and you can listen to our dulcet tones without looking at our ugly mugs. Or if you feel like you need, and this is coming back to pepping up a little bit, and you want to see something beautiful, you can come over to YouTube, subscribe to that. There is more content on YouTube because we've been doing it longer on YouTube. There's over a dozen episodes, lots of which are not on the podcast platforms that you can enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, no matter where you get your podcast, and let us know your questions, queries, feedbacks. Maybe you think Kanye's being really harsh on Harry Kane, and he is the most successful striker of a generation. The face he's pulling for those audio listeners, right? But thank you so much for listening. We're building this up, right? Let's get rid of that. And I am going to say to you in finishing, Kanye, I'm going to say to you, Super Chrissy Powell.
Oh, so are we going to try and get the people that watch it to guess the team?
People are going to guess the team of the obscure
right.
player.
Okay, I'm going to go Paul Konchesky.
Oh, that's a cracker, but I think you've given it away with that one. Because that's why
I don't know. There's a few. There's a few.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, right. This is going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons. And what a player he was for a few seasons. And looked like he had everything in his position. You're laughing because you think I'm going to mug him off now. I'm not. Richard Wright, the goalkeeper.
Oh, big ears. Big ears.
No, that's not his mate.
Oh, sorry. Richard Wright, he could have. You know, Arsenal ruined him, didn't they? Did you hear this? How he got injured?
No.
So he was warming up at Arsenal for a game. He was starting. He was in the goal, and as he jumped to catch the ball, he fell on the sign that said "Do not warm the goal." Twisted his ankle.
No.
Was that for 3 weeks? Yeah.
Mate, do you hear about it? Do you remember when they won the cup and they dropped, what was it, Steve Morrow, and he broke his arm? Do you remember that? They won the cup and they had him up on the shoulders, and I'm sure it was Steve Morrow. I'm sure it was. He fell off and broke his arm. I'm going to look that up. He fell off and broke his arm. Give us a retort to Richard Wright. Go on. Right,
so if you're going Richard Wright, I am going to throw out there Clive Mendonca.
We talked about him in another episode. Proper striker at the lower level. He was a proper goal scorer.
Did he not in the team we were on about? I'm sure he got a hat trick in the final.
Yes. He scored 4 in a game.
And then did his cruciate ligaments last preseason game before the start of the season and missed the whole season, and they got relegated.
Yeah,
so he didn't actually get a chance to play. Yeah.
Yeah, Mendonca, yeah. Arsenal captain Tony Adams dropped Steve Morrow in the 1993 Cup final, having broken his arm. Morrow was rushed to hospital and strapped with an oxygen mask as his teammates paraded the pitch with a trophy. Savage.
Wow.
Savage. I will go back to you, Mark Kinsella.
Oh, Razor, Mark Fish.
Mark Fish. Right. Staying on the sort of fishy sounding name, it's not quite. I will give you Paul Sturgis.
Dean Kiley. Good goalkeeper.
Sean Newton went on to be a hell of a coach, by the way.
Is he a right winger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Bartlett.
Right. Famous footballing family of brothers and cousins and uncles. And we told a story by a West Ham legend. I'm going to give you Bradley Allen.
Oh, yeah. Good shout. Right. I'm going to raise you. One of my favourite interviews was Craig Bellamere talking about this player, Jonathan Johansson.
I'm sure we've mentioned him.
Have you seen that interview where Craig Bellamere, Finland beat Wales? Watch it. He's just basically going, he's like, they're rubbish. We're rubbish. How have we lost to them today? Like, he scored 2 goals. How he scored a goal? I'll never know. Like, he just goes in on him. Like,
what hurt more, hearing that or Steve Morrow's elbow? Like, what hurt more? Right, we'll have one more.
It's got to be the other one.
Yeah, one more. We'd have one more. I'll throw one more. He can throw one more. You can let us know. Even better. I am going to give you Richard Rufus.
Oh, what a player. You know what? I was going to go with Rufus Brevett, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Luke Young. Nice. Luke Young.
And I'll give you a clue. The manager of this team at the time was Curbs. So if you know Curbs, you know.
If you know, you know.
Mate,
If you know, you know.
listen,
Surely we've got to get that.
surely we've got to get that. I thought you made it a bit easy. I avoided saying like, I'll do it now, right? But I avoided saying like Lee Bowyer.
Yeah.
You know what I
think
mean?
Very, very good one.
I
was going to go.
Scott
I
Parker.
was going to go with Konchesky and then Luke Young because they both played for another team at the same time as well.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to confuse. Yeah.
Mixing it up a little bit. But that's why I went for Richard Wright, because you had a choice of 86 teams. 86. Still fucking won more than Harry Kane in his career. Anyway,
you're Harry Kane's biggest fan. We'll have less of that.
I've got to try and do something, because it's in case people just listen to a little snippet where I'm defending him. I've got a reputation to think about, mate. I can't.
I'll get you a trophy saying Harry Kane's biggest fan, then you'll have the same amount of trophies as him.
And I will volley it straight back at you. Anyway, listen, that's another episode in the bag. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all that doodah, whatever you got to do. And thank you so much for another episode. Until next time, join us again on
Opinions from Offside.
We see you soon. Keep balling.
Keep balling, baby.